All right, welcome everybody. Today we're going to play with balloons a little bit, see what we can do here. All right, hey everyone, I'm Mike. Welcome back to another Play Well Live. We are very excited to be back again. There's a reminder, every Tuesday for the summer schedule, every Tuesday morning, morning on the West Coast, at least where I am, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. So thanks for joining us. All right, Play Well Live this morning. We are going to be building some cars. Except this is balloon. All right, we're going to power our cars with balloons this morning. That is our goal. So we're going to learn a bit about how propulsion works, right? So we blow up our balloon. You may hear my dog bark at some time because he's very concerned as to what I'm doing with this balloon. So we shall see. All right, so I've got air stored up in here, right? What's going to happen when I let this balloon go? A, it's going to make my dog crazy. B, it's going to go all over the place, right? Okay, so what makes this move? How is just blowing up a balloon and letting go make it move? Well, as I let go, the air comes out this end of it, right? Okay, what happens when the air is going out of this end really fast is it's pushing it this way, right? Now, when I let my balloon go, did it go just like straight away? No, it sort of went, all right, there was nothing to guide where that air was going, okay? So we're gonna have to figure out how to kind of harness that energy, right? So I'm blowing up this balloon. Maybe. Oh, all right. Okay, so when I blow up that balloon, I'm storing that air in here, right? Okay. This has the potential to do something. I've got some stored up energy here. When I let this go, that's when it moves, right? Okay, so we want to experiment with how to make our balloon-powered cars. So I said we were going to need some balloons, okay? We're going to use some straws. I've got a few different kinds here. We're going to use some straws to sort of, what I talked about, direct that energy, right? Harness that energy, that air, into the direction we want it to flow, okay? So that's what those straws are going to help us do. We're going to need some rubber bands or maybe some tape to secure our balloons onto those straws, right? We don't want our balloons coming off of the straws. So that's an extra little thing we need. And then we're going to just experiment, okay, with some different kinds of wheels, different kinds of vehicles, frames, different kinds of mechanisms for holding the straw in place. We're going to just kind of create and see what happens, okay? So first step is to build some sort of vehicle, okay? All right. Hi, Aloma. Welcome. And Dan, thanks for joining. Awesome. All right. So let's see here. We are going to build some different cars, okay? I'm going to start with a type of car that I like to build for a lot of different things. You may have seen this, okay? If you have some Technic pieces, this is a great way to do it. So I've got my little frame here. It's a box frame. It's just got some of these beams, the ones with holes, okay? Call them holy beams. It's kind of sandwiched between some plates there to make our box frame. And then I've just got my axles with little bushings on there. So I'm going to drop those through. One there, one back here. Got my wheels on there then. Okay. And one of the things we're going to have to be concerned about here is anything that would slow our vehicles down. We're going to want to see how fast we can get these vehicles going with just our balloons, right? So the biggest thing that's going to slow them down is that rubbing force, when two things are rubbing together. I know we've talked about that before on Play Well Live, so if you know what that force is when two things are rubbing up against each other, go ahead and comment that. We'll see if we can figure out what that is, okay? So I want this spinning nicely, right? Right now, this top wheel spins pretty well, okay? This bottom wheel, not spinning so well, okay? So that's going to slow our vehicle down. Hi, Oliver. Thanks for joining us. All right. So that rubbing force that we were talking about, I haven't seen anyone comment what they think it is yet. Maybe I've missed it. All right. Oh, and we've got Patrick, Russell, Connie, and Big Frank joining us as well. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Frank. All right. So let's see here. Spinning nicely. Not spinning so well. I just need to loosen that up. When I push these wheels on, they got a little too tight there. So if I loosen it up, All right, now I can get my wheels spinning really nicely. Okay, so that's trying to avoid that rubbing force, which is known as friction. Okay, we're trying to avoid friction. So I've got one little example there of a car. We need some sort of vehicle, right? But you might have different kinds of wheels. Maybe you've got some crazy like carriage wheels like this, or maybe a little one like this. Whatever kind of wheels you have, you can build some little vehicle. We're going to test some different kinds of wheels, different sizes of vehicles, see how that affects our propulsion here that we're going to get with our balloons. Okay, so I've got a little vehicle there. I even just took some of these round bricks here, stuck a little axle combination pin in there, and put that into a little frame. I could use pulleys as wheels. Whatever you've got, you can make some sort of little vehicle. Okay, something that's going to allow us to test out our balloon-powered vehicle here. Okay, so once you've got your frame of some kind, some vehicle going, we're gonna figure out how to get our balloons on there, right? So we said if we just kind of stick a balloon on here, it's gonna be hard to direct where that air goes, right? I could just take some tape and sort of strap this down here, but then it'd be hard to make sure that the opening was gonna stay open and kind of where the air was gonna go, right? So what we wanna do, we're going to take our straw and we're going to attach our balloon onto this straw. Okay, so I'm going to attach it onto the short end here, but there's some different ways we could think about this. And I'm going to try using a rubber band to attach it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my rubber band here, and I want to get it tight enough that it stays on here, but not so tight that I'm collapsing the straw, right? If I collapse the straw, then the air is not going to get through there. Okay, so let's experiment. I've got kind of a big rubber band here. I have to wind it around a bunch of times until it's going to get tight enough. This is the part where if this was a pre-recorded video, this would be in like fast motion, so you wouldn't have to watch me do this whole time. Okay, here we go. So I'm getting my balloon on here. I'm going to make sure that my rubber band is staying around the straw, and then it's going to be tight enough to hold it on there, not let air out the sides, but let air through that straw. Okay. And yes, you've got to find a balloon. Yep, I had to go to the store last night, or more accurately, send my wife to the store and get, because she was going anyways, and say, please get some balloons. Okay, so here we go. Okay. So I've got my rubber bands on there tight enough that my air is not escaping around the edge of the balloon here, right? But not so tight that it was collapsing the straw. So now, when I let this go, okay. So now I'm directing all of that air out of the balloon right out through this straw, right? Okay. So that's part two of this. We've got our vehicle. We've got a straw with a rubber band connecting my balloon there, right? I could have also, like I said, I could have used some Scotch tape or something around there, okay, to secure that balloon onto there. Whatever you have available, experiment, try things out, right? So now I need to take my car and I need to get my balloon on there to make my jet-powered propulsion car, right? Okay. So the way propulsion works, right? We're pushing the air, essentially, pushing the air out, and that's going to move our car forward, right? That's what's going to give it that forward thrust. Okay. So this part is a little more kind of open-ended, and figure out what pieces you've got and what size straw you've got and what sort of space it's going to fit through, right? We want to just build some sort of structure to hold our straw in place, okay? And I used the bendy straw because I was thinking what might work nicely is to have this sort of sticking off the back, kind of like an exhaust pipe on a normal car, and then have my balloon sort of up out of the way here so that it's not running into the wheels or the ground or anything like that, right? Trying to avoid that friction, that rubbing force. We don't want it touching anything else. So I just need to build some sort of little kind of conduit, something to hold this, okay? So I experimented a little bit and just sort of using, I'm going to tilt you down here, just sort of using regular bricks. I'm going to build some sort of structure to hold my to hold my straw in place. Okay, let's see. So if I put mine with one space in between them, my straw fits pretty nicely down in there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to work off of here. And let's see here, maybe, I don't know, you got to kind of experiment and see how tall your straw is. I'm thinking maybe if I put a little plate down there on the bottom, that might hold it in nicely. Okay, so then let's see here, let's do, then I'd cover that up, and then I'm just kind of trying to get this lodged in here, right? So I see I can turn this up now. Whoop, and just kind of place the bricks in such a way that they're going to hold this in place, right? There are lots of different ways we can do this, right? This is not a one-size-fits-all step here. You're going to just find whatever bricks you have that work best for you. I'm seeing, okay, if I do that, okay, that's locking it in pretty well. Looks like I need maybe some more bricks to keep this from spinning around there. So I'm going to grab a couple more. All right, one brick maybe on this side, one over on this side. Okay, and basically I've created a little like chimney there, right? So it's just holding that straw in place. It's not perfect, but it locks it in pretty well, because if this can move, it's going to be sending my air in different directions. The problem we get if our air is going in different directions is what happened when I just let go of the balloon, right? It just went all over the place, right? And it's going to not direct our car in the way we want it to go, okay? So let's test this out. Let's see what happens. Before we start tinkering anymore, let's test this out and see what happens. So I've got my runway set up. Maybe I should have used some tape, set up a starting line or something here. Okay. So I'm going to inflate my balloon. And then just put a finger over the end to hold it, right? Okay. So what's going to affect how far our car goes here? Let's see. We think we've got it moving pretty well. We've got our air stored up there. We've got our balloon directing it out. Let's see what happens. Well, that was anticlimactic. Okay, let's try it. Let's try one more time here. Okay, I blew it up a little bit more. Let's see if this does anything, right? Well, that's our sad play well live, folks. We didn't get our balloon car to work. No, I'm just kidding. We're just getting started, right? Okay. Any ideas what might be the problem? If you have an idea of what might be going on here, go ahead and comment that there in the comments. But let's sort of explore this. I'm not going to think about it too much yet. I'm just going to try something different and see if it makes a difference, okay? We tried it with this frame. Let's just try this same exact setup on our little tiny frame here and see if that makes a difference. So I'm just going to sort of peel off this frame that I built, okay, for our straw, and we're going to see if just putting this on a different vehicle makes any difference at all. Let's see. Okay, I got to make sure. Ooh, this frame's a little skinnier, so I might need some other pieces here to make sure that I don't run into anything. Let's see here. Okay, I'm just going to swap out one piece because this frame is a little bit skinnier. Okay, Aloma says car is too heavy. I think that's definitely a factor, right? I don't think we have enough thrust to get this heavy car moving. So let's try it with this little lighter one and see if that makes a difference. Okay. I've got the same exact setup right on top of here. It's just a really tiny car. Let's see. All right. Okay, everything else is the same. I'm blowing up the balloon about the same amount. We'll see what happens here. Okay. Ooh, I've got maybe a little tiny bit of air escaping from my balloon, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. We'll see though. Okay, let's try this again. All right, and you agree? Okay, let's see here. All right, so I've got my balloon there. I've got my straw out the back. Ooh, did you see that? It moved a little tiny bit. Hold on. Hey, that is one crazy jet-powered car. Okay, so we found one thing. Car's too heavy. All right, we're going for streamlined, as light as possible, right? In order to get enough oomph out of our balloon to get this moving, we had to go lighter with the car. Okay, so we're gonna ditch this one, right? I would throw that, but I don't throw Lego. Okay, so now what though? Why is it just barely moving? Okay, I'm gonna try something else. Yes, Lama, it is sort of funny that it's as kind of as disappointing as it is. Okay, but we're just getting started, right? So I think, let me show you one thing. When I let this go, if you remember, when I let the balloon go, all that air came out really quickly, right? And it went, okay? But now, when I let this go, because all that air has to go through this little skinny straw. Do you see how long it takes to get all the air out of there? That might be good. That might give us a nice constant stream for a long time. But if the air isn't coming out at a high enough rate, at a fast enough rate, then it's not going to help us, right? Okay, shorter straw maybe. Let's see what that does. Got my handy dandy scissors. Let's see if a shorter straw makes a difference. Good idea. I like that. That was one thing I wanted to try today that I haven't tried before. Let's see. It's a lot of balloon blowing up. Okay. All right, let's see if this shorter straw makes any difference. I wanted it to. Okay, I think that makes a little bit of a difference. Okay, there's less distance that air has to travel, so there's less area for it to get slowed down. Okay, not enough friction on the wheel. Too much Legos. Okay, these are all awesome ideas, right? Okay, so we saw already that weight was a factor, right? This giant frame versus this little one. I could make my stand here a little bit different, right? Use fewer Lego to connect this. Okay, the friction on the wheel one is an interesting one. Okay, and I don't have a cover to go on this one. Otherwise, I would do that. But that is a very interesting one because that can be tricky. Wheels do need to grip the surface. Okay. But that's when the wheels themselves are powered because they need to be able to grip it to move. Here it's not the wheels that are powered, right? I'm getting my power from the air. So that's an interesting question. I wish I had some other little wheels that had grippies on them. I'm not sure. We might have to see what I have to experiment with that, okay? But I do have some other materials that I want to get to try here because we're going a little long here. Let's see here. I'm going to try. We talked about trying to get more air out at once, okay? So I'm going to try to keep everything the same. And this is the other good factor, okay? You know how I kept my frame the same when this holder the same when I went from this one to this? That is the basis of all of this testing, right? Trying things. You don't want to change too many things at once because then you don't know what made the difference, okay? So if you're trying to experiment like this or in any experiment, you want to keep as many things the same from one test to the next. Just changing one thing, right? Changing as few as possible to see what difference that makes, okay? So we did that with our frames. Now I'm going to try to keep my stand sort of as much the same as possible and just change to a different straw, a straw that's a little bit bigger, right? And see if getting that air out quicker is going to make a difference. So let me see if we can do that. I'm gonna take this out of here. We'll keep our little one intact here. Okay, we'll get another balloon. I'll even keep it, no, let's go a different color. All right, here we go. So we're gonna try to use this same setup. It's not quite gonna work though because I need a little more space for my straw. So let me just find a couple of pieces to sort of widen this out here. I'm just gonna, instead of having a brick nice and close here, I'm gonna scoot it a little bit farther out So I just need a little skinny beam to put there. All right, found one. Okay, so I'm going to use a little skinny beam out there and see if I can secure that in there. Yeah, I think that's going to work. Ooh, okay, so it's not quite, it's a little taller than my Lego bricks, so I'm going to need some, let's see here. Searching my parts here. Okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, I'm gonna need some plates on there. So we're gonna put some plates on the side to get this just a little bit taller. So I just put a little bit of a plate on there. I'm thinking that can rest right in there. I can put my bricks across. Yes, yes. Okay, that's shaping up. Okay. So I'm gonna get my balloon onto here, right? Okay, make sure that my balloon is good to go. No leaks. Okay, so, all right, right around there. Let's get our rubber band again. And around we go. Not changing too many things. I was just going to say, ooh, let's maybe change the tape this time. I'm not going to change the tape this time. I'm going to keep my setup as much the same as possible to test just the thing I'm curious about, which in this case is the size of the straw, right? The amount of air I can get flowing through that straw. All right, let's see here. This should be just about good. All right. This is what I love about projects like this, or about all the things I'm doing in my challenge editions and these Play Well Lives, is it's just testing, tinkering, figuring out, trying to change something, see what effect that has, and then figure out, okay, why is that, right? So here we're changing to a different straw. If I didn't have an idea about trying to get the airflow more, just wanted to try something different, right? What could I change? Oh, I could change the size of the straw and then see what difference that makes. Okay, so woo, let's make sure I can blow this up. Okay. If I blow this up to about the same size I had, let's see how quickly the air gets out of there. A little faster, right? Let's see. About the same size. I think the orange one's a little bit smaller, maybe even, but let's see how quickly they come out. Okay, so I can see that orange one I think was even a little bit smaller, but it took longer. So this is going to do what I want to, at least to test this. Here we go. Let's get it locked into place. Got it resting in there. Bend my straw up. Got some bricks on that side. Get some bricks on this side. Now I know I'm changing this setup, but I'm trying to use about the same amount of bricks to kind of keep the weight the same so that we don't change too much all at once, right? That was what we were going for. So I'm trying to keep this about the same as my other stand. I think that's about the same height, about the same bricks, right? Not exactly. Okay, I'm not being too particular here, but let's see what this does. All right, let's test this out. Okay, got my balloon. I've got my straw coming out the back. Bigger straw. Test 3.0, right? If I only had one of those like little action, you know. All right, here we go. Oh man, the excitement is killing me. Okay, I ran out of table, and I still had air left in that. Yes, it did what we wanted. Okay, hold on. Let's try one more. I'm gonna go way back here. Okay, same balloon, same setup, same roughly at least amount of weight on there. The same frame I was using before. Only thing we changed really was a bigger straw. All of a sudden now I can get a lot more air coming out at once. Okay, so there's more air coming out of there to be able to push my car forward. That's pretty awesome. Okay, we got that working. Now, what else can we test? There were lots of other ideas that people were having, okay? And we're not going to have time to test all of those, okay? But here's what I want to test now. Let's change one thing, right? I want to change the size of the balloon. Any ideas what we think that's going to do? This is going to, I think going to be the last one that we have time for here. Any ideas what changing the size of the balloon is going to do? All right, let me see here. Let me get my rubber band off of there. Get my jumbo balloons here. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. Let's see here. All right, let's try this. Here we go. Okay. Only thing we're changing is the size of the balloon. What do we think that is going to do to our balloon car? Let's see here. First, I gotta get it secured. Okay, rubber bands. All right, rubber bands, do your stuff. Yes, Dan, as you said, boom, we got it working. All right. And I'm using like very few pieces here for any of this, right? This isn't about the Lego build. This is about how Lego is a really easy tool for experiments like this, because I can modify my design really quickly and really easily, okay? And it's giving me the setup I need to do this experiment, right? So that's another thing that I love about using Lego for this, is it just gives us really easy options to customize it, okay? All right, I've got my balloon on there. Bigger balloon equals more fuel. Okay, more fuel. So is that gonna make it go faster? Is that gonna make it go farther? I don't know, let's find out, right? Okay, here we go. Let's make sure that it's not escaping. All right, the rubber band is doing its job. It's holding the air in there. How big did this balloon go? I don't know. Okay, now one thing I'm seeing, that balloon might be running into the ground. I might need to build a little bit more of a stand up here to keep that balloon upright, but let's test it first without doing any of that extra stuff here. And let's see what happens. Ready? What? Why isn't it going anywhere? Crazy, right? Okay. Now, I don't know if you could see it from there, but I'm pretty sure the balloon was touching the table on that. That would be giving us more what? Friction, right? Okay, so we need to do one last thing. I need to build a little bit more of a stand here just to get my balloon off the ground and really test to see if that's what was slowing us down here. Now, I know I'm going to have to use more Lego, so it's going to be a little heavier. Okay. But we'll see. I really want to see if that is what's going on here. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Let's see if that does what I need it to for my balloon. It's still tipping over there on the front, but I think it's staying off the ground a little better. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're going to be good. All right. Final test of our balloon-powered Lego car here. Let's see what happens. Interesting. Any ideas what's going on? And sometimes you don't even know. We'd have to like do more testing to figure this out. Why is that bigger balloon with the same straw, that same exit, going slower than our little balloon? Let me try to take off any more Lego here just to sort of support that balloon and see if that weight was really the problem. don't know. This balloon is flopping around a bit more. Interesting. You know what? I might just leave you with that. This is an ongoing question. What is going on with that bigger balloon not giving us as much forward thrust as that smaller balloon, even with the same size kind of a straw as my exit? Really interesting. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I encourage you to keep investigating. Build some balloon cars, test it out. If you don't have the Lego materials to set it up, there's lots of different ways to build balloon cars. But remember that principle of testing these things. Change one thing at a time, right? Don't try to change too many things at once, or you're not going to know what effect those changes had. So experiment with it. Keep commenting on the video. Share us with photos of other things you do using the hashtag #PlayWellAtHome. And show us what you're coming up with, and just keep experimenting, right? Keep tinkering, keep building. All right, and we'll see you next time. And keep throwing out those ideas for Play Well Live too. We want to see what you want to see built. So thanks for joining me, everyone, today, and I'll see you next time. All right.